Let's look at some review questions for Chapter 8, the moons, rings, and Plutoids of astronomy. Question number 1. As their distance from Jupiter increases, the 4 Galilean satellites show consistent. Well, the Galilean satellites are Io, Europa, Ganymede, and Callisto. Io being denser than our moon at 3.5 grams per cubic centimeter, Callisto being less dense than 2 grams per cubic centimeter. So as they increase from Jupiter, they decrease in density. So the answer would be D. Kind of showing a little bit of differentiality in terms of the Jupiter solar system. The surface of which Jovian moon most resembles the pack ice of the Arctic Ocean? Well, Io is a very volcanic world with volcanoes and molten material flowing over its surface. Europa is a icy world with possibility of saltwater ocean underneath the ice, and the surface of which looks very cracked ice, pack ice, like our Arctic Ocean. So it is indeed the second Galilean moon, Europa. What is thought to cause Io's volcanism? Question number 3. Well, Io is under a lot of stress from the gravity of Jupiter and the gravity of the nearby moon, Europa, and possibly the gravity of the other outer moons as well, Ganymede and Callisto. But mainly between Jupiter and Europa. A tug-of-war between the two are pulling Io back and forth and causing internal stress. That is a source of heat, and that has allowed Io to be a very volcanic world. It might also be contributing to an internal heat source in Europa, which allows it to have that liquid ocean underneath. So it could be a very interesting effect for Europa as the second Galilean planet, or moon. So tidal stress from Europa and Jupiter. Question number 4. How is the ring of Jupiter discovered? Well, we know 2 of the Jovian ring systems were discovered by Earth, on Earth. Of course, Saturn has been seen since Galileo saw it as the ears of Saturn, but we also discovered Uranus's rings through occultation of a star. But the other 2 ring systems, Jupiter and Neptune, were discovered by the Voyager spacecraft, and in particular, Voyager 1 discovered the ring system of Jupiter as it traveled past Jupiter. Question 5. The Roche limit is defined as the critical distance at which, if a satellite were to venture into it, a satellite being of the same density of the planet itself, the satellite could be destroyed. So it's a distance from a planet inside of which a moon can be tidally destroyed, pulled apart into smaller particles. So it's A. All the ring systems lie within the Roche limit of their planet. Question 6. Shepherd satellites are defined as, or what we saw from the F ring of Saturn and from the ring system of Uranus, there are these satellites that are on either side of the rings, the gravity of which holds those thin rings together and keeps them on a path going around the main planet. So the moons will confine the narrow ring to its orbit around the planet. Question 7. Why are the rings of Saturn so bright? Well, Saturn's rings contain a lot of new icy material, reflective material. So it's relatively new ice that is creating that reflection. So what we mean by relatively new, maybe 50 million years or so. and on the scale of the universe, that's pretty new. Not much can happen to it out there in space. Which moon in the solar system shows a dense atmosphere? Well, the moon of Saturn, the largest moon of Saturn, Triton, has an atmosphere that is 60% denser than our Earth. So that is a very dense atmosphere, especially for such a small moon. I mean, it's the second largest moon in the solar system, but compared to the Earth itself, it's pretty small. And it's got a very complex organic chemistry based on ethane and methane. Question 9. Which of the Uranian moons displays the widest range of surface terrain, suggesting some catastrophic disruption? Well, we see that even in these pictures you can possibly see that Miranda has been through a lot. Miranda looks like a 3D jigsaw puzzle that maybe was thrown apart and then it kind of coagulated back together, but when it came back together in pieces, showing all sorts of disruption to it, and rifts and terrains and so forth. Question 10. The rings of Neptune, let's go down through the answers, were confirmed by Voyager 2 in 1989. Of course, they were discovered by Voyager 2. Appear both narrow and diffuse. Yes, we have 3 narrow rings and 1 large diffuse ring. Lie within Neptune's Roche limit. Well, all the ring systems do. Often appear as clumpy ring arcs rather than complete and symmetrical rings. Well, the outer ring of Neptune is kind of clumpy and possibly held together by shepherd moons. So all of these are correct about the rings of Neptune. Question 11. Neptune's moon, Triton, shows a thick atmosphere similar to Titan? No, but it does have a thin atmosphere of nitrogen, but not a thick atmosphere. Volcanic features similar to those on Io? It does have volcanic features. It has volcanoes of liquid nitrogen spewing out, creating a volcanic world. So we could say in a sense that it has features similar to those of Io, volcanic features similar to those of Io. Question 12. Most astronomers believe Pluto is perhaps best classified as, well, now since most astronomers voted in 2006 not to have Pluto as a planet, it is now basically a large Kuiper Belt object, or possibly what we might call a dwarf planet. That's not one of our choices here. So we choose a large KBL, and we're discovering more and more of those. The largest being Eris, as we mentioned, also a dwarf planet. Question 13. Which of these moons is most exciting to exobiologists? Well, we would say now that there are probably 3 moons exciting to exobiologists. That's 2 of them are Saturn's, Enceladus, which is an icy moon with possible water ocean underneath, and Triton, which has a 90% nitrogen atmosphere like a primordial Earth, and Jupiter's Europa, which is an icy moon with a possible ocean underneath. So which of these answers has 2 of those moons? And that would be answer B, Triton and Europa. So those are most exciting to exobiologists. Europa has indications of liquid water. Triton shows liquid evidence and an atmosphere consisting of nitrogen. Very interesting to those biologists who are looking for indications of life beyond our world. That concludes this short expose on clicker questions for Chapter 8. I hope this was a good review for you.